Sue Marino's name is well known to many of you. Sue is as experienced as any NCA judge in water and draft work, and she is a cornerstone member of the NCA board and the Working Dog Committee. More than a decade ago, our family was new to water work when we first met and exhibited under Sue Marino at the Genesee Regional Newfoundland Club water test in the Finger Lakes. Right away, I was struck not just by Sue's deep command of the subject matter, but also by her sense of fairness, her disinterest in celebrity, and Sue's clarity and generosity in sharing her observations with others. So a decade later, after I'd been in Sue's company a dozen or so times, I was honored when Sue agreed to sit with me for an impromptu interview. Once more, we were on the Lake Cayuga water's edge at a GRNC water test as we discussed matters practical and philosophical in the world of the Newfoundland dog. Thank you for being here, Sue. Let's remind the viewers who you are.
I'm Sue Marino from Auburn, Massachusetts.
And what are your earliest memories of animals?
Oh, I was an animal lover from a small child. I had a mother that didn't like animals, hadn't grown up with animals, and we didn't have any pets when I was small. But when I turned 17, I came home with a puppy. Someone was giving away for free and said, please, can I have this for my birthday present? I'll take care of it, I'll pay for it. And it ended up being a wonderful family pet for, I think, 17 years.
Was that a hard sell for your mom?
It was at first, but I worked so hard with the puppy to make it be trained and housebroken and behave in the house that she fell in love with it, and eventually it was a member of the family to her. Horses were a big love for me when I was younger too. I did end up working in the horse field. I worked for a breeding farm for a while and did some of the breedings and birthed the foals and raised the foals, and I did get involved in that, and then I got a Newfoundland.
That seems like a big leap. How did you even learn of the Newfoundland breed?
I worked for a veterinarian, that is who owned the horse breeding farm. So I also worked at his veterinary clinic, and there were several Newfoundland breeders that brought their dogs there for care. They would bring their puppy litters in to have him check them out. And one of the breeders I got friendly with, and we talked, and I said, you know, if you ever have a dog that needs a home, I'd be interested. I love this breed, you know, I'd love to adopt one that maybe needs a home, not, you know, necessarily a new puppy. And she came in one day and she had an 8-month-old female that she was looking to rehome. And that was my first Newfoundland. Back then, like I said, I worked at the veterinary clinic, so I saw all different kinds of breeds of dogs coming through. And there was just something special about the Newfoundlands. I mean, they would come in and they didn't know me and they acted like they loved me like they did their owner. And my husband and I had both decided we'd like a big dog. So when we started, you know, meeting some of these dogs at the vet clinic, we said that's what we think we'd really like to have.
Often said, I think, and I don't disagree, but what does a big dog bring to the table that a small dog may not?
I liked being able to just kind of pat my dog when I was walking beside them, have their head tall enough that I could pat the dog when I was walking beside them, to be able to lay on the floor with them in front of the TV set and cuddle up to them. And with the Newfoundland, of course, it wasn't just their size, but the personality as well.
Please explain the Newfoundland personality to someone who's never been with a Newfoundland.
It's hard to do without experiencing, I think, but I just said they're the perfect nanny. They care about people. They want to be with people. They want to spend time and be around you. I had Newfoundlands when my children were young, and they really did serve as nannies. If the baby cried, the dog would come running to me to tell me the baby was crying. The kids played with them. They protected the kids. They would keep them out of harm. The instinct was just amazing with the children. They just were really great with them.
Let's fast forward to your interest in working with the Newfoundland breed.
The first Newfoundland I got from that breeder at the vet clinic, as I said, she was 8 months old when I got her and had just been a kennel dog. So she was kind of out of control and already 100 pounds. So I brought her to obedience class because she definitely needed it. She was so good at it. She just wanted to please so much that we really enjoyed it. I finished her CD. I got the last leg on her CD 5 days before my son was born, so the picture is really pretty funny with the belly, but we did that. I wanted to get it done before I was tied up with the new baby, so we got her CD then. That got me interested in working with my dog, and then I joined the Newfoundland Club of New England, and they did water tests, so I started going to their water tests and helping out and stewarding, and I just got hooked on the working events. I stewarded for many years before I even trained my own dog in the water, just got hooked on that.
Sue, is there a dog in your past who is particularly easy to remember, a dog you worked with?
That would be my first water dog, and he was just very much a natural. He just loved doing it. I always said anybody could walk off the street and take this dog to the water and earn a title with him. The hardest thing to teach him was to wait until he was sent. And he was also my first VN. So he was a very special dog to me. That was Figment. And then I had Nemo, who was also a really good water dog. He was the first dog I trained in WRDX. He never did get his title, but he passed every exercise several times, just not all on the same day. So he never did get his title, but he was a really good working dog too.
Certainly, you are the most front-of-mind NCA judge that we know of in the eastern United States. So it's fair to say that if not the best known in the country, I'm guessing you're pretty close. How did that happen, Sue?
After working my own dogs, I got very involved in starting to help out as a committee member in the water tests, and got involved in the runnings of the test and interested in the regulations and why they were the way they were and how they're put together. So I decided at that point that I would like to be a judge. And then shortly after that, I became a member of the NCA's Working Dog Committee as well. And then as a member of the Working Dog Committee and eventually chairperson of the Working Dog Committee, people started to know my name. I had more name recognition, and I started judging at more places around the country.
Is there a particular judge under whom you exhibited who informed how you wanted to handle yourself as an NCA judge?
Yes. I was lucky enough that back then you only had to do one observation to become a judge. And I did my observation with Roger and Barbara Fry. And they were wonderful, wonderful, helpful judges to me. And then my very first assignment was with Sam Butler. And again, they were all very happy, positive judges. They weren't out to try to fail people. I loved the way that they were so happy when other people did well and passed. And that's the kind of judge I wanted to be. Also, when I first got started in water training, Donna Tebow was my mentor. I started water training with her, and she taught me a lot about water training and helped with a lot of my attitude, I think, with judging probably came from her as well.
The Newfoundland is prized among canine giant breeds for health and longevity, but even then, our dogs still don't live as long as we would hope. What advice do you have for those wanting to bring a Newfoundland into their home?
I would tell them to go to a reputable breeder that has been doing it right for a long time. There are so many breeders out there with the internet now who are advertising themselves, and a lot of people that are buying dogs from them are being very disappointed. They end up with health problems or temperament or personality issues. If you buy your dog from a reputable breeder who is doing it the right way with all the right clearances, being careful about who they breed to whom, you're going to have a much better chance of having a dog with less health issues and a dog that lives longer.
We saw a range of exhibitors at the Genesee water test today. Some were deeply memorable, even though they may not have passed, and some who did pass showed great skill. What's an example of something memorable to you that was shown today?
I saw some great handling today. I like to see a handler that not only has a wonderful connection with their dog, which is very obvious when you're watching them, it's almost like an unspoken thing between them. They know what their dog's thinking. Their dog knows what they're thinking, what they want. And it's the handlers that don't need a lot of words. They don't need to keep repeating themselves, and they don't need a lot of words. They've worked with their dogs. They know what each other is going to do. They know what each other wants, and they just go out and do it together to please each other.
Is it fair to say that stands out for you more than if an exhibiting team passed or failed?
To me, it does. Yes, definitely. I don't care if they don't pass, if they're still telling their dog how much they love them and it's okay, they can try again, and that's what I want to hear. It's not all about the title. It's about you having fun with your dog. It's about your relationship together. And a title is just an extra bonus if you do get it. My WRDX dog, we did not get it, but we still had a wonderful time and really enjoyed doing that work together.